Hi and welcome to a short tutorial on the task console within the AYR CRM system. Once you've logged in, you'll see your home page. One of the panels in that home page relates to tasks. You'll notice here, for example, that it's showing a task that is now overdue. It was due to be done yesterday. So you've got the customer, you've got the task description, and you've got the task type. Now you can go to this task by clicking on that link and it takes you directly to that task. It's got a task number. It's got a full description of what the task is, so what is to be done. It's got a very short subject line, so in this case it's floors are dirty. It's got a start date, a due date, and it's got a task status. Don't worry, I'm going to go through this in more detail in a minute. You've got who the task owner is, so who's responsible for it. A related user, that's somebody that is related to the task but may not actually be involved in resolving the task. And then you've got the task type. Then you can set who is going to be notified and updated via email as this task progresses and is updated and completed. You can also link this task to a customer. It's not a requirement, but in most cases, about 95% I would imagine, it would relate to a customer. But if it was, say, a vehicle inspection, that does not relate to a customer, so therefore you wouldn't do this. And then you see at the bottom here that you can also set appointments relating to this task. Remember, a task is something that has to be done within a certain period of time. It may have multiple aspects. You might have to do several phone calls, then have several meetings until you actually conclude and complete that task. An appointment is where something has to be done at a certain point in time, like a meeting, but it is a subset of the bigger task. So it's just one component. So think of it as a task is the whole project. An appointment is just one milestone within that project. Okay. And you'll also be able to click on these here to see the comments and the history. Once again, this is a task. This task description is what is to be done. Comments is what has been done. For example, phoned Bob today and he said that he wanted me to come in and do some remedial work on the floors. The next one is I went out to meet him and saw that yes, there were some problems with the floors. Another comment later on will be talk to the franchisee, arranged a time for him to do the remedial work. So that when you actually view the history, click on here, you will see all the comments, and the reason why we want it done in here is that it's time-stamped. Comments cannot be modified, so from a legal point of view, it is what they call contemporaneous notes and will be accepted by the court. It tells you what user did that action, what the action was, and the actual description. So that is your task. So let's go back to the home. Now, what happens if I want to see all my tasks? I click on Go to Tasks, or I can go into Reports and go Task Report. So I'm just going to go to Tasks. this task report is defaulted to run a report under your name, your user account, and the due date of today. Now under this account there isn't any due today, so I just go and change those parameters. And you can change the status so you only see the ones that are in progress, for example. So these are the 3 that are in progress at the moment. You can click on the task. You can see the customer name if one has been linked. Once again, you don't have to link it. Same with the job. This is who created it. This is who's responsible for making the task happen. This is the related user. This is the address of the customer. This is the task subject. As I said before, keep it nice and short so that you can see it there. The due date, this is when it is due, and this is the status. Well, I've only selected the ones that are in progress, so they're sorted there. I can go straight to the task by clicking on here, or I can go to the job by clicking here. Very, very useful. So once again, all you need to do is from your home page, click on Go to Tasks, and you get there. Okay? Now let's create a new task. So you go Create New Task. You get a task number allocated to it. You got a task description. So you can say, Bob phoned from Personal Imprints and complained that the floors weren't clean. Demanded that the supervisor goes out. So what I do is then go and say dirty floors. I put the start date as today. Actually, this is fairly urgent, so the due date is also today. The task status, I leave that for the task owner to deal with. I allocate it to the task owner. Now here I can, if I know who the task owner, who the supervisor is, I can select that person. But if I don't know who it is, but I know who the customer is, I go down to the bottom, click on Link to Customer, I search for the customer, I select the customer if there's more than one showing, and click Link to Customer, and it's linked me there. I can even go one step further and link it to a job, and it comes up with a list of jobs only for that customer. I select that one, I click Link to Job. Now it tells me, do I want to replace the task owner and related user with the supervisor and franchisee of this job? I say yes. Bang. It automatically tells me that supervisor 1 and franchisee 1 are the respective stakeholders here. Then I go into notifications. I'm the creator. I've created it for the supervisor. Supervisor's the task owner. I want him to be notified by email that this task has been set up. I'm not going to send it to the franchisee because it's up to the supervisor to communicate with the franchisee. Okay, linked customers, I can see that there. I can then print this, I can save it, so I'm going to save that now. I can email it. Emailing, this is excellent. You can email it to somebody, for example, maybe Adrian or somebody like that. You can put in a short message. Remember, in most cases, you should be sending a copy to yourself if you're emailing from this type of screen. You can add the task details and add comments and send. You can also add to calendar, and you can delete. Be very careful about the deletion. Add to calendar, you simply click on that. You can add to a calendar. I'm just going to do this quickly. It's going to bring in all the details, so all you need to do is just change the time and click add, and it will come up there. If you click on this, you can see that there's a link to the task. Bang, you're back. And it also shows that appointment in there. This ends the tutorial for tasks. If you've got